Hey GlamFam, Linwood here with one of my tried and true clients, Bridget. I wanted to go ahead and do a video today, and I asked her if she would mind modeling for me because many of you guys asked me if I could show some styles on 4C textured hair, and Miss Bridget definitely has that. It's very soft. Hold on, let me turn this way so you guys can see. This fabric of hair is very soft. If I can get my camera to focus, there we go. The spirit of Act Right is in the building. It's rather soft in terms of the degree of tension, things like that that you can put on it and it still feel loved, but she's got a very good degree of density and all of that. I will say moisture is always a key factor with this hair type, and then of course keeping it from being rather knotted and things like that. So you guys can see she's got, let me see here, I'd say about maybe just short of 4 inches of length with it stretched. So we're gonna go ahead and rock some styles with that and get it going. Why is my ISO acting crazy? What's going on? All right, anyway, we'll just dive right. All right, GlamFam, so her hair has already been shampooed. I have shampooed her hair with Giovanni's Too Chic avocado and olive oil line. This stuff is amazing. And of course, I've got my own product in there as well with Alexandria on there, as you guys can see. Shameless plug. I am, of course, using both these products, and I'll be using the leave-in conditioner and styling elixir in her hair as well. So it works well on most hair types that are thirsty. For mine, it's a little too heavy, but for thirsty hair, it's amazing. So I'm going to be applying that in there. Notice I'm doing everything with just kind of clenched fists and prayer hands. From there, I'm going to be applying a little bit of my product, the Love Me. I want you guys to see the consistency of it. It is a cream, but it turns into a liquid rather easily, as you guys can see. And we're just going to work that into the hair as well. Okay, you guys, so I basically have this hair parted off like you guys see here. I am going to be twisting up this section of the hair. I don't want to twist this yet, so I've got it out of the way, and I'll be twisting this hair up. My hands will probably be in the way for most of this, so I'll actually show you guys how I do it up on the top portion and just let you guys kind of see while some music plays or something, and try to do some booty popping music for y'all on there. Don't hurt your back while you booty pop. It'll take you out. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get this started. Alright, so as you guys can see here, I'm just parting off a very small section of hair to work with. And then from there, I'm going to clip everything else out of the way with this crocodile clip. I love this clip. It is amazing. From there, we're going to go ahead and just do a standard 2-strand twist down to the scalp, as you can see here. If you need a tutorial for how to do this, I do have tutorials on how to 2-strand twist, and I will try to do this a little bit more clearly so you guys can see easily what's going on as well. I'll be showing you guys a few more times, and then from there, I'll probably just jump into a more advanced speed for you. So I'm going to twist that all the way down to the tips of the hair. And then if you'd like to, you can just give it the whole twist a turn in that direction that you're twisting it. And that way it helps to encourage the ends to stick together. So from there, we're going to go ahead and just kind of going in towards the part line from the outer perimeter. We're going to do the same thing. And I'm just going to clip the excess hair out of the way. And you always want to make sure to start with triangle sections. So try not to start with the front as like a rectangle, if that makes sense. If you've watched any of my braiding tutorials, you already know if you start off with a triangular section and smaller subsections, it's going to give you a very neat, precise, professional looking braid or twist. And that's what really gives you that added edge and that look of professionalism to it that just puts it a step beyond what everyone else is doing. Trust me, it seems like a very minute detail, but it goes a very long way. And you guys kind of see how I twirled the hair around my finger at the end. That's what I was talking about when I was saying giving it a good spin to encourage the hair to kind of mold together on the ends. Now you guys can see I'm rotating out, so I'm taking slightly larger partings towards the outside of the section, and we're going slightly more narrow towards the inside of the section, and that way we're able to just kind of rotate our section out so that way everything just looks like it should. From there, I'm going to go ahead and give this section a good twist as well, and that way you guys can just kind of see clearly what's going on. Now, after this one, I will be speeding it up some, so I hope that you've kind of caught the gist of it. Keep in mind, like I said, I do have a tutorial on how to do flat twists if for some reason this is a little bit too advanced, or if I'm losing you in terms of my actual technique. And I'll try to link that up in the top right corner as well. So just continuing that process all the way throughout the ends, as you can see here. Now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. We're basically doing the same thing, but this way you can kind of see every step of the process. I thought about just skipping it, but then I figured somebody would be upset. I want you guys to see how precise these partings are and kind of how it all flows together, because you'll want to basically mirror this on the top side. And I'll show you guys what I mean for that portion. I will be skipping, however, the back side of the head, just because it's literally the exact same technique, and you can kind of take this and get as creative and intricate as you would like. My goal is not to have this be an extremely long, drawn-out video, but to give you enough detail. So let me know if you would like more detail, or if you feel like this is just enough, or slightly a little too much. It's fine too. Once you finish with that whole section, you want to undo this large subsection that I twisted out. And we're going to go ahead and mirror everything that we did down below throughout this section. Now, keep in mind, you typically want to work with the hair when it is very wet. It's going to be a lot easier to detangle, a lot easier to get your comb through. So make sure it's really wet, that you've got a good moisturizing product in there, leave-in conditioner, something like that. And we're just literally going to part, and I want to mirror what I did on the opposite side. So where your part ends, it should end at the exact same spot as the same twist on the opposite side. I'll show you guys a little bit more closely what I'm talking about here in just a moment. Now, just so you know, the reason why I use two different products in her hair is the first one is a moisturizer. That one is going to help out with encouraging and increasing her moisture balance. The second one is actually a styling cream that is more of an all-natural oil base. It has shea butter and coconut oil in there, as well as an abundance of other oils. And it acts a little bit more like a sealant to that hair to keep the moisture that the leave-in placed in there and the shampoo and the conditioner placed in there from escaping. As you guys can see, I've got butterfingers because the hair's a little slip, but that's okay. And we're literally just going to continue this process all throughout the head. Now, I am going to get this section twisted off, and then once I do, I'll just kind of continue on with these subsections. So I'm going to part on, and I try not to do like incredibly straight part lines. I always like to have a slight curve to them. To me, it just makes them a bit more visually appealing. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. It doesn't have to be a major curve. Even the slightest of curves looks really good. You want to keep in mind the head is a curved surface, so incredibly straight lines don't always work out exceptionally well. A curved line is very flattering on a curved surface. I hope that makes sense. Now we're just going to twist this down, like I said, mirroring the twists on the underside. So you can see for each one of these, it has a perfect mate on the bottom side where it will end and match up to. So I moved that twist out of the way just so you guys could see the one underneath that I'm matching it up to. So there will be an odd number of twists, and the odd one out in the very front will be the one that begins everything as we finish. I know that's confusing. I'll explain it more in a minute. Alright, so we're speeding this up because I feel like you guys kind of have the gist of this now, and I don't want to bore you to death with all of the nonsensory. Plus, you know, this is twisting. We'll get to the more detailed part here momentarily. But again, this way you guys can kind of see what I'm doing to match up the sides perfectly. So just continue that process throughout the back, just in that angle there. Alright, so once you've done that, we're going to go ahead and take our very front twist. I'm going to have our tilt just a bit for you. And we're going to take the very front twist, which is this little one here. We're going to wrap from the right side over and around, and we're going to add the two twists together. Then come from the left, add over, around, add the two twists together. And we're not twisting them like two-strand twists. We're literally just wrapping the single one around the bundled twists. Don't mind that. That's the sound of my computer because it needs the spirit of hush all upon it. So we're literally just continuing the same process, going from right to left and wrapping around the bulk section of the hair. The thing I like about this is it gives a slight upraised appearance. It gives a very neat and concise look. You're able to hold it together at the end with one hairpin, and it holds securely for 2 to 3 weeks. And on top of that, it's just a really intricate looking technique that's honestly pretty simple. The twisting portion is the most tedious in my opinion. So we're just going to continue on throughout the back of the head just like this. And once we get towards the end, which I've got a couple more to go, I'll kind of show you guys how you can fasten that off. So we're going to continue taking those strands individually, wrapping them around the bulk. We're on our last twist on the right hand side, which I'm wrapping around now. And then once we get that wrapped, you'll want to take your very last strand from the left, or whichever side is the last for you, and wrap it as closely as possible to the base of those twists. You can wrap around a couple times, and then you'll grab an open-ended hairpin, which I'll show you here in just a moment. This baby is all you need to hold securely. Do not use the close ones. They're uncomfortable for this. Now you want to slide it right up underneath there, so that way the twist hides your pin, and look how secure it is. Fantastic, right? So from there, I went ahead and did the same thing in the back, and I sectioned off half of a subsection on the other side of her head. Now, I did this part to kind of show you guys what I'm doing that's different over here. It's literally like the same thing, only instead of having two sides that meet together, I'm just doing one side of the pie, if that makes sense. And it's basically to make her hair appear longer over on this side. For those who don't know, doing hair is much like doing magic. It's all like illusions and, stuff like that. So we're creating an optical illusion that the hair is longer on this side of her head. Now, once I've twisted those all up, I'm going to 2-strand twist those, and I'm going to pick up the loose twists as though they are strands of hair that I'm just twisting in, and treat it just like one jumbo 2-strand twist. Gives a very neat effect and still flows really nicely with the desired look. Now the other twist will hang over the top of it, so to the onlooker, unless they're really dissecting it, it's going to go just as nicely as the other side does, because it gives you the same degree of detail in there. I hope that makes sense to you guys, and I hope that I'm not rambling entirely too much, but you're welcome. We just put one pin in there as well, and that way you guys can kind of see how securely it holds. Now on this other side here, I'm going to go ahead and start doing individual twists. So I'm doing like 1/2" by 1/2" squares, and we're going to just 2-strand twist these with them hanging down. Keep in mind this hair will probably need re-wetting on this side, just because by now it's somewhat dry. So you guys will see me re-wet it pretty shortly, because it'll get harder to part, and you guys will kind of see that as well. I made sure to leave it in there because I want you to see what happens if the hair is not moist enough, and just trying to snatch your comb through dry hair can actually lead to breakage. So it's sped up here just because it's 2-strand twists. I have a tutorial for this too if you need it. Now, once we've done this, notice how my comb doesn't want to easily go through there. So when I notice that, I'm going to mist with a bit of water. I love that water bottle, by the way. It's amazing. And then from there, I'm going to go ahead and massage that into the hair until that hair feels like it has softened back up. Once it has, I can then go in with my rat tail comb and part through there significantly easier. You don't want to snatch and tug. So if you feel like it's still too hard to get through there, feel free to apply a little bit more moisturizing product, or, apply a little bit more water to soften the hair again. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm making sure to part these off and twist them down so it falls perfectly between my part lines on the bottom. This is called bricklaying, and it helps to make the hair look thicker and fuller than doing the squares directly on top of each other. So this, again, is another optical illusion that's going to make the hair look thick. Continue that process all the way up the head, and then from there I'm just going to edge up her neckline. Now it looks really square now, and honestly a little crooked, but I like to do the bulk and then go back and clean up, so you guys can see a little bit more of a tapered line. Looks a bit more appealing on females. And this is the finished look from the back and the side with the hair hanging. You guys see how full that looks on that side, and how you don't even really notice that there's just the one side twisted over here. And then there's from the top coming on down, and we'll show you around to the other side as well. As always, let me know what you guys think down in the comment box below, and a special thank you to Bridget for allowing me to film. She's amazing. She's been with me for like 6 or 7 years now. Of course, be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on post notifications. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, and yeah, turn on your bell and all that, click the bell, turn on your post notifications. Love you guys. Stay glam.